Welcome back. So in the previous video we have started working on the style for our navigation. We have made a good progress, like adding or at least positioning our elements on the correct or where they should be. It is time for us to move and finish our navigation, hopefully. So if we compare what we have right here to our navigation, well, the first thing first, let's start from the left to be more precise. So we have the logo right here. We want to focus on the logo to finish it. First of all, obviously we need to change the color of it, and I think make it a bit bold, or it's already bold, but I think let's change the color. And by the way, for the colors, I already have my Adobe XD open, and I can go ahead and pick all these colors and keep like opening XD and moving back and forth between VS Code and Adobe XD, but I'm gonna ignore that. I'm not gonna do that. We are just gonna use any colors that comes to our mind. So for example, here in our nav right here, I'm just gonna target my logo. I'm gonna say the color should be tomato, okay, which is a color that it's pre-built. I'm gonna use this one right here, and I think I'm done with my logo. As simple as that. And by the way, you can like extend more. For example, change the font weight, okay, to something really big, or you can leave it like that. Anyways, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna focus more on these LIs and these items right here. First of all, we can see they are a bit bigger. So I'm gonna go ahead to my nav link. I'm gonna say font size to be 1.1 rem. By the way, these are just values. They come to my mind immediately and I am picking them. But if you don't like them, then you can definitely choose your own. I think we are done on the left hand. Let's go ahead and move to the right hand. This one right here. First of all, what I'd like to do in order for me to position these elements correctly, these buttons, first of all, I cannot give them margin from the right. That will just be like here, for example, the header button. I could say like header button, not the last of type. Okay, this is the same approach that we have used in our LIs, just to add margin from the right, except for the last one. So I'm just gonna say margin right to be like, for example, 1 rem. Okay, if we take a look on here, it seems like it's solved. Okay, this is the first approach that you can take. Okay, this is the first approach that you can take. Another approach, it would be like this. So let me show you what I will do here. I'm just gonna say header underscore underscore buttons. Okay, I'm gonna give it a width, like for example 50% of the screen. I'm gonna give it background color to be, for example, tomato. Just for the time being, let me show you something. There we have it. Okay, let's increase it, for example, to 20. We have it right here. Okay, what I will do, I will disable the margin. Okay, you will see them like that. Here we have the header buttons, which include all these buttons. What I can do, I can use a flexbox right here. So I will say display to be flex and justify content to be space between, like that. That will give me also the same result, and I can control the width to determine the space that I need. As simple as that. So these are the two ways that you could space or align or position these links right here. Okay, by the way, remember one thing. You can use one of these ways. You cannot use both of these. So either to give them margin from the right, except the last one, which is something that I don't like. I like to give it a width right here and control the space around it. I'm gonna remove my background tomato. I don't need it. I'm gonna remove this one as well. Now here for the header button, I'm just gonna say font size to be like 1.3 rem, just to give it more like they are a bit bigger. Okay. Now how do I make these backgrounds? We can see we have this one right here has a background of let's say this color right here, and this one has this color, but the one in the middle doesn't have that same color. How we are going to handle this? Since they have the same classes, the same class, here we are going to use something called the reusable classes. The reusable classes. Okay. And what I will do here for the time being, we are going to add them right here, but in the next video we are going to do some refactoring and we are going to create a separate file for them. For the time being, just be aware, and let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to say btn hyphen tomato like this. So I'm just going to use some like for example this color right here. I'm just going to call it btn hyphen tomato. That will determine the background for different buttons. So just bear aware. I mean let me write the code and you will understand everything. Okay, so tomato like that. What I will do, I will say background color tomato, and I will say the color should be white. Okay, so in this case I have this reusable class, and when I'm gonna assign it to any element, that element will have these properties assigned to it. So if I go back to our first button, which is the dashboard button, I'm just gonna give it the class that I have created right here. So btn hyphen tomato. Okay, so I'm just gonna add it tomato like that. If we go back to our application, we can see that element has this background like so, as expected. Okay, now what I will do, I will do the same thing. I'm gonna create another reusable class called btn. I'm gonna give it padding like 0.7 rem and 1 for example 2 rem. Okay, and also I'm gonna give it border hyphen radius like 100 pixels, and also I'm gonna give it some shadow. So box shadow 0 right here, for example 2 pixels, and here I'm just gonna go with 10 pixels for an RGBA. Okay, we have a SAS right here, no worries. I'm just gonna use my own, so 0 0 0 and also 0.5. So again, this is a basic box shadow, and I'm gonna go back to my HTML element. I'm gonna assign this class. Okay, again, this is all our reusable classes that I'm creating. Once again, we are using the reusable classes just because we want to share style between elements. Instead of targeting each element with these styles, I can create like a reusable class, and whenever I need it, I can apply it to any element. If we go back, we can see this is how our dashboard looks like. Okay, now what I will do, I will go ahead and let me first of all apply it, and we are gonna change something. Okay, so this class right here, or the logout button, need the same classes. So it need the btn hyphen tomato and btn. So again, you will see how like efficient this approach that we have took. Instead of targeting this element and this element and apply all these different CSS properties, I have just created reusable classes and applied them to these two, let's say, elements. Now I will go back to my HTML. This button right here, the one in the middle, it doesn't have the same style. So what I will do, I will create another class. So I will just call it btn hyphen white. Okay, like so. I will give it background color to be white, and the color should be dark gray. I will go back to my HTML element, this one right here, the one in the middle. I will give it btn hyphen white and btn because I wanted the shadow and the border and the padding. Going back, here is how it looks like. Well, the thing that I have noticed, first of all, we have to decrease the font size. So I'm gonna go back to the header button, this one right here, and decrease it to like 1.1. And another thing that I'd like to do, I'm gonna decrease the width of the parent, this one right here, just to give it more space like that. And let me see, how about 25? Yeah, 25 looks perfect for me. Again, this is like just to give them more space. Okay, and I think I like it. Of course, we can, the shadow, I think if we zoom, it's a bit, it has really like a very strong shadow. We can decrease the opacity if we want. This one to like 0.3 maybe. Yeah, now it's much better than what we have previously. So again, in this video, we have just finished our navigation. It was really nice task that we have did. Again, in the next video, we are just gonna do some refactoring about the reusable classes, how to put them, where to put them exactly. But I think up to this point, we have did a great job. We have used or just focus or give an attention to the details. So hopefully you like it. So thank you, my friends, so much for watching, and see you in another one.